We have a wonderful speaker today, Viswesh Subramanian, who is going to talk a lot about his fears, overcoming them, and constructing his success. So as a reminder, don't hesitate to use the chat and the question and answer section. And I will look at the question and answers, and we'll have some time after Viswesh's speech to ask him some exciting questions. So once again, please help me welcome Viswesh Subramanian. Confronting your fears and constructing success. Viswesh Subramanian.
Thank you, Partho. Thank you all for coming. It is my honor to have you all in my presence, and I'm super excited to add value in the time we spend together. The first thing I would like you to do is grab a piece of paper and pen. Go. Write down 3 goals which have been sitting and marinating in your mind. If you found the piece of paper and a pen, go ahead and type in, I found it in the chat, just so I know that you're good to go. Because this next 20 minutes, I'm going to be asking you so many questions that I really hoped and I'm pumped that you're going to find purpose and meaning at the end of this conversation. Fantastic. I want you to write down those 3 goals. Goals, few of you might ask, what goals? They said cake, and that's the only reason I'm here. What are you talking about goals? You want us to go to the bakers now? So, well, let's go to the bakers together. Now, if you don't have any goals on top of your mind, or if you do not have anything marinating right now, think about health, wealth, and happiness. Think about where you would like to be in health, wealth, and happiness. Health can be about losing weight, putting on muscle, or even getting that low back pain checked out. Wealth can be about finding that dream job, which pays you better, which pays you the true market value. Or it could be about starting a new business, which amasses wealth. It could be about finding alternate investments to take your investment strategies to the next level. And finally, happiness. Happiness can be about healing relationship. It could be about building new relationships, or even connecting with your family on a deeper level. Now take 20 seconds to write your goals down. Just 3 goals. Just scribble away. Go ahead. 20 seconds. All right. Let's put that aside for now. If you haven't gotten to those 3 goals, it's okay. Take your time. And I'm sure you are thinking about it. My 2.5 years old daughter loves books. Anytime you step into my house, you will see my little one running around my house with the tiny fingers, catching those books, children's books with great illustrations. She loves books. One of her rituals every night is to listen to Goodnight Moon. It's about a bunny trying to fall asleep. Now, all you dads and moms out there, if you know which book I'm talking about, just reply, Goodnight Moon. It's a very, very classic book, children's book. It was released in the 1950s by Margaret Weiss, and it is basically, taken the world by a storm. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to read you that book. Well, it definitely sounds like no one has read that book. So it's going to be a new experience to you. And if my voice puts you to sleep, so be it. Sleep away. Are you guys excited? If you're excited, just type in excited in all uppercase. Go ahead, I'm listening. Excited. Are you excited? All right, Sunil. I'm super excited as well because this one book I have read a million times to put my daughter to sleep. And I'm super excited to share the, the goodness with all you all. Goodnight Moon by Margaret Wise Brown. In the great green room, there was a telephone, a red balloon, and a picture of cow jumping over the moon. And there were three little bears sitting on chairs, and two little kittens and a pair of mittens, and a little toy house and a young mouse. You see the mouse at the corner? That's the young mouse. And a comb and a brush and a bowl full of mush. And a quite old lady who was whispering, "Hush! Good night, room. Good night, moon. Good night, cow, jumping over the moon. Good night, light, the red balloon. Good night, bears. Good night, chairs. Good night, kittens. And good night, mittens. Good night, clocks. And good night, socks. Good night, little house. And good night, mouse. Good night, comb. And good night, brush. Good night, nobody. Good night, mush. And good night to the old lady whispering, hush. Good night, stars. Good night, air. Good night, noises everywhere. And that's the end. How was the book? I see all the hearts coming in. Sleep, fantastic. That's what I want to hear. So, did the bunny sleep? I sure hope so. That was the intent. Now, what if I told you that you are the bunny trying to reach your goal? You're focused on everything, living, non living, and you say goodnight to everything, unrelated tasks and activities, but you forget about the goals. You know that there is a goal, but you say goodnight to everything. Has that worked for you? Have you done that before? Have you embarked on irrelevant tasks just to avoid taking the right activities and embarking on the important tasks to meet your goal? Yes? Give me a thumbs up. That is right. We do. We all procrastinate a ton. Now, I want you to go back to 2016, where these goals, the goals which you just wrote, were these the same goals then, like 5 years ago? If yes, then it's very likely that it'll be the same in 2026, which is 5 years from now. Well, things change, goals change 5 years ago, right now, and even after 5 years. But at the top level, 20-foot view, goals tend to be the same. We can change that, but we fail to act upon relevant tasks and activities which will propel us to meet those goals. If you resonate with this message and you believe you're like the bunny, and if you feel that you've said goodnight 1,000 times, just type in yes in the message, just so I know you're listening, just so I know that you're resonating with the message. Well, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I have said goodnight 1,000,000 times. That is right, in 1,000,000 times. And in my experience of saying goodnights to irrelevant activities, there are two factors that hold us back: fear, fear of being judged, fear of uncertainty, fear of the work ahead. We know false events appearing real. We know that good things happen on the other side of fear, but we fail to act upon what's important. We wear fear like a shield. Why? Because we fear of getting hurt. The second factor which holds us from taking those steps to reach our goals is wearing the wrong fit. I'll talk more about wearing the wrong fit later. But now, I want to take you back and tell a small story. Many, many years ago, I had gone out to whitewater rafting with my friends. I was given a life jacket which was red in color. All of us were given jackets. They had different colors: yellow, green, blue. I was given one which was red in color. And we all proceeded on to board the raft, which was parked at the edge of the river. And the raft was red in color as well. It was ominous, but at the same time, I felt life was trying to teach me a lesson. So I was asked to sit up in the front just so the weight is equally divided in the raft. Sure, I obliged. And I went ahead, boarded it, and then right before we take off, push ourselves into the river, I turn around and say, guys, I don't know how to swim, so if you find me drowning, please come save me. I was serious. I haven't been that serious in my entire life. My seriousness was tossed out with laughter. Yes, they laughed. At that point, even the neighboring raft heard me and they started to laugh. Within moments, I heard a faint voice. Don't worry, dude, you have the jacket on. You're going to be fine. It was so embarrassing. But anyway, in we went. Midway, I was tossed high up in the air and my worst nightmare came true. I was in the middle of nowhere. I was pretty much thrown out of nowhere. And my legs, unfortunately, were stuck in between branches which were underneath the water stream. So no one knew what was going on. I knew I had a life jacket, but my mind refused to believe that. It was a traumatic experience. Can you imagine? My legs were caught between the branches, and I'm trying to bob and weave from the rapids hitting my face, trying to not suffocate. It was traumatic, and that experience made me promise myself that I never get involved in anything water. Fast forward to earlier this month, we and a couple of our other families visited Shaver Lake. It is close to Yosemite and it's a beautiful place to visit. If you haven't been there, I definitely recommend to check it out. One day during a stay, one of my friends invited me for a swim across the lake. And I told him about this full ordeal of what happened, and it's a emotional mark left in me, and I really cannot come past traumatic experience. He pulled me aside and he told me something profound. He said, Viswesh, first of all, you're going to be wearing a life jacket. Oh, yeah, genius. Tell me something which I don't know. Then he said, looking directly in my eyes, with all seriousness, with all hope, and with all light, he said, you control the water. The water does not control you. So what if you drink a little bit of water? So what? So what? A little bit of water enters your ears. So what? I'm going to be with you. It's going to be okay. Let's go for it. I stepped into the lake. I ended up floating around the lake for the next 4 hours. That is right. It was such a therapeutic experience that I regret not taking the time to learn swimming. The takeaway really is to identify the fear that holds us back and ask yourself, what is the worst that could happen? Really, what is the worst that could happen? My mom used to ask me growing up, are they going to eat you? Is someone going to eat you? Then go ask them. So the important question to ask yourself is, what is the worst that could happen? And then nuke those reasons by asking yourself, so what if I end up drinking a little bit of water? So what if I end up having a little bit of water in my ears. Now go back to the goals which you've written down in your piece of paper and write down the fears that hold you back. All the false events appearing real. Please take the time to write, or if you're short on time, just start scribbling away of all these false events that are appearing real and which hold you down. The second factor that holds us back is, like I said earlier, is wearing the wrong fit. Let me explain. You work out intensely, huffing and puffing, almost passing out. And later that evening, you find yourself rummaging through the kitchen to find that lost cookie. Now, who does that? If you have rummaged your kitchen for a cookie, type in cookie. But I sure hope you're not finding that lost cookie. But you get my point. How about this situation? You work for your company with blood, sweat, and tears, only to be passed over for promotion. How about this? You're motivated to try new ideas, visit new places, experience new culture, but you're struck down by your inner circle with phrases like, "Who do you think you are? That's stupid. That'll not work. You're weird." Now, when these situations arise, have you stopped to ask yourself, why am I still wearing a shoe that pinches? Why am I? Finding the right fit means not buying cookies in the first place. Finding the right fit is by finding the company which truly values your worth. And finding the right fit is letting go of friends who don't propel you and who don't provide you the comfort, who do not give you the platform to be a better you. So to bring all these ideas together, the next 5 years are going to run out regardless of your participation. As a matter of fact, August is going to be in town soon, and it's going to run past just as fine. The same thing with September. September is going to roll by just fine. So let's look at our goals. That piece of paper which you have right now, it's an important piece of paper right now if you've gone through the process. Go ahead, confront your goals, and step into the right fit. If we do that, ladies and gentlemen, I promise you, abundance and fulfillment is right around the corner.